Hello, National Kidney Foundation. I have been on dialysis for 2 years. I was raised by a really neat RN nurse educator mom. So I grew up with health and supplements and all kinds of neat things about how the body works and all that type of stuff. And I'll tell you what, when I went on dialysis, my learning curve for the first, handful of months was really rough. I mean, I had people calling me saying like, "You're on dialysis. Does that mean you're going to die or something?" And I mean, I was raised by a kindergarten to eighth grade school psychologist dad and a juvenile psych nurse mom who also taught at Helene Fold School of Nursing. She's a Duke graduate, quite an amazing lady who sponsored 150 Vietnamese, Cambodian, and Hmong refugees after the Vietnam War. And both of my parents were like total librarian professors. So I grew up going to university stacks with them because they're working on research projects, and they would teach me how to use the card catalog to find the choo-choo train pictures. And I was like a computer access to information type of kid before the computer age. So I have no credentials whatsoever. I mean, I have been spending my whole life researching and traveling and discovering marvelous things. And for years, I have been working with faith-based rehab centers because I never had any babies of my own. I was a pleasure chaser, anti-breeder. And so at one point in my life, I realized I'm a daddy heart. I should have had kids. So I hang out with 25-year-olds that have been in jail 3 times and have zero attention span and who really need communication and encouragement and all that kind of stuff. So I've been working with rehab centers for years. And then all of a sudden, my kidneys fail. And I go into Bayfront Hospital in St. Petersburg, and they take 35 pounds of water off me. They have me in the hospital for 12 days. And when I'm in the hospital, I've never been in the hospital. I'm a long distance runner and bike pedaler. And so I'm in the hospital and I'm thinking, why do I feel so comfortable here? And I realized that since I was a little kid, like 5, 6 years old, I've been sitting around waiting for my mom to finish her reports in the nursing home, in the hospital. And so I really was raised sitting around entertaining doctors and nurses and being entertained by doctors and nurses. So like the hospital or, healthcare atmosphere is actually like sort of my home base. And I just kept feeling like all fuzzy and comfortable and funny hanging out in these places. So over the past 2 years, I have discovered that I am a professional dialysis atmosphere encourager. The patients, the techs, the nurses. I mean, literally, my heart job is not to go into the center and get my blood cleaned. It's actually, how can I encourage these people that are working so hard and these people that are getting carted back and forth into nursing homes and things like that. So, I actually have toured a bunch of, I've used my dialysis travel agent, and I've been in dialysis clinics in Lenore, North Carolina, and Cincinnati, Ohio, and Maine, and all over the place. And I've actually been putting together, sketching out a little questionnaire to actually have people respond to what I am like in the dialysis clinic to actually support my life profession at this point as a professional dialysis patient and team and family encourager. My primary focus is the families around the dialysis patients. I'm telling you, like, I had very little clear support on how to describe to my friends what was going on with me because I didn't really even understand what was going on with me. So I've got a couple of things going on. Number one, in the rehab centers, I have developed a thing called the Family Honesty Workshop. Family Honesty Workshop. If you look up Grandpa Honesty Guy, Family Honesty Workshop, my stuff will bubble to the top. It's basically like a really off the cuff, fun family way of talking about the things that are bothering us in a really quick 15-minute, set the kitchen timer. Okay, we're going to talk about the little things that are bothering us. And no, you don't have to confess everything, but just talk about the things that are bothering you inside so everybody can hear. And there's no crosstalk, there's no examination or problem solving. We just listen to what's going on in one of those hearts, and then later on we can help each other out. So this is a thing that is actually keeping drug addicts who have truly had a life transformation from relapsing, because they have a family atmosphere where they can be real about the emotional things that build up that can cause them to engage in obsessive behavior, addictive behavior, that kind of stuff. And I mean, how wonderful to apply this to dialysis families where, like, you know, there's layers of hopelessness and bleakness and worry and lack of understanding. So the Family Honesty Workshop is one thing that I do. But my joy is dialysis bike tours. Okay, I have this funky recumbent bike. One of the nutritionists said to me, hey, if you get a lot of light exercise, the machine will work better for you because you're pulling toxins up out of your muscle structures. And I'm like, great, I'll get myself another cool recumbent bike and just like spend a lot of time just cruising down the road. So now I have devised a dialysis encouragement publicity stunt that goes like this. I dip my bike tire in the Gulf of Mexico next to the Don Cesar Hotel, which is known around the world, a favorite rich folks' wedding place. I used to live just down the street from there. I dip my wheels in the Gulf of Mexico and I pedal all the way to Vero Beach on the Atlantic. And I pedal from Vero Beach all the way to Key West, doing a slow roll, which in bicycle terms is like, you know, a light pedal. No more than 35 miles a day. And like I can do 35 miles in 4.5 hours, not even working hard and stopping and goofing around. So that's a little chunk out of the day. 4.5 hours, just cruising down the road, feeling happy. And the point is this. I do about 35 miles a day, and I stop at dialysis clinics along the way. And I chit chat about, okay, now, if your Aunt so-and-so is on dialysis, you can help her in the kitchen. And I'll show you how to cook hard-boiled eggs so the shells fall right off. And I'll give you like some really neat recipes for like coleslaw that has different flavorings. Like some of it tastes like bread and butter pickles, and some of it tastes like this and that, and et cetera, et cetera. And talking about healthy things, talking about just the kind of stuff that you go through and you feel when you're on dialysis, and just have fun, like a family TV show. I am an old roads historian. I was selected to be the keynote speaker of the reforming of the Lincoln Highway Association in 1992, which is America's first transcontinental road. It goes from Times Square, New York City to San Francisco. I love old highways, and I love meeting, you know, the nice lady that's been running the candy store in a tiny little town for 60 years or something like that, and doing an interview with her. And my idea is to also stop at the dialysis clinics where I'm going to get a treatment and interview, you know, somebody on the staff, somebody, you know, a patient that wants to talk about their dialysis experience, you know, like, you know, sitting outside in front of the dialysis clinic and just chit-chatting about our lives and encouraging one another. This is a thing that my heart is so full about. But I tend to be like the absent-minded professor, and I tend not to be really good at administrating myself. I know that I need to communicate about grant stuff. I mean, I would like to have at least one cinematographer like following me down the road and, you know, talking about Florida roads and Florida history and the Dixie Highway and Carl Fisher, who started the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, who actually also did the Dixie Highway and who started Miami Beach as a real estate development project. Really cool guy. And just talking about stuff and encouraging people in their homes, and especially in the nursing homes. I mean, when I go on dialysis and I feel the lives of these people coming in on these rolling beds and wheelchairs, I'm just like, I love these people. I love these people, and I want their families to be okay and together around them. And I'm just making this appeal to you guys because I need to talk to somebody that can help me understand how to go forward with this project. This is a thing that, like, it's kind of like one of my life joy works, like nothing else I've ever had. I think this is one of the greatest things that will ever happen to me. My idea, my perspective is, I'm not going to lean towards one, dialysis provider or another, but actually say to all of them, hey, I'm going to hook up this fun TV show, and I'm a pretty interesting guy to, I travel with my guitar. I make up little songs, it's like kind of like Charles Kuralt, only, in the dialysis world. And I mean, I'm an antique car guy. I used to restore antique British motorcycles, and my idea of fun is actually using a Model A town sedan or a 49 Hudson as a daily driver to cart the kids around with, just because it's interesting and fun and out of the ordinary. And so that's sort of the whole package of my life. I want to talk about the family honesty workshop being utilized by dialysis clinic social workers as, like an opportunity, a means to gather the family together and, do this little family honesty workshop thing so that people's emotions are being shared a little bit more. And so that they're really, getting a chance to just be free of their secret burdens. In the family honesty workshop, the 3 declarations that we make for the rehab center people are: number 1, when you hide stuff, when you have secrets, too many secrets, it'll make you physically sick and it'll drive you crazy. And we don't want to be sick and crazy. So we're going to share the things that are bugging us. Number 2, we are going to help and support each other. Even if you did something that would get you locked up, we'll all be there in the courtroom loving on you. And then the most important thing is, you don't have to confess everything or talk about everything. Just those things that you really feel like you could use a little help with, or it would be better not to be hiding it inside so others can know what you're going through. Those 3 things. And then there's a list of little scripts of how to introduce, like, a my bad issue, or a my situation or issue that feels like a problem, or I have this personality problem that I wish I could fix, or I have a relationship repair that I need to make. I wish I had a mediator or a peacemaker because I'm really sad because I'm not interacting with this certain person very well. Or I have this habit and I wish I could change this habit, so people can just hear what you're feeling inside. So anyhow, Family Honesty Workshop and Dialysis Bike Tours is right now my life. And I'm telling you people at National Kidney Foundation that I really need help to go towards this vision. I'm all alone. I actually feel really sad because I've had these things in my heart for the better part of 2 years. And I just really need some help from people who really want to effectively encourage people and have them feel refreshed and happy about their life condition, regardless of whether they're on dialysis or not. So my phone number is 863-262-8181. 863-262-8181. My email address is grandpahonestyguy@gmail.com. grandpahonestyguy, all lowercase, @gmail.com. Please send me a note. Can we talk? Please, I'm begging for help, actually. I was corporate sales. I sold Catalina yachts and fancy graphic design, from New York to Washington, D.C. I used to race sailboats. I was a sailboat rigger. I've done film and video production assistance for historic documentaries. I've had many careers. I was food service for years and years. I love fine French and Russian service and diners and all kinds of crazy food service stuff. I've had a lot of experiences in my life, and I can draw from those places in my conversations as I roll down the road. So please contact me. Thanks so much for doing what you're doing. All the best.